you for joining us live or in the replay. If you're catching us in the replay, I'm Heather Seipel, intuitive psyche specialist and relationship energy specialist. We're going to be talking today about leveraging your triggers to optimize shadow work. And I'm here with Amanda.
Hey everybody, I'm Amanda. I'm a transformation doula, sacred rebel, and soul guide.
Yes. And we're excited to talk about shadow work and how to really use your triggers to get the best effects out of your work that you're such great inner work that we're doing. May as well optimize it, right? So, I mean, the shadow, I always say, is the parts of us that are unconscious, the parts of us that we don't really know about yet. And we haven't become best friends and familiar with. And so when we see it in other people, it can trigger us. And those triggers give off a lot of information about how to grow and develop and progress in our own self development journey.
Absolutely. Because a lot of this stuff is blind to us. Like some of it we're well aware of, or we're well aware of certain aspects of it. But beyond that is like intricacies. We can only approach what we know. So when triggers bring up different layers of truth, we're able to show up to that. When you think of it as a gift instead of a bag of poop, it really helps you in how you approach it and how you're able to sit with it.
Absolutely. I think one of the best little exercises that I ever heard about doing shadow work is when you get really upset at someone or a particular situation, to write it down. Don't even edit or anything. Let it rip. Write it down and then put it away for a whole day. Don't come back to it before one whole day has passed. And then read it as though you're reading it about something inside of you, and then it can usually give little indicators like what part of me is actually upset. And if you do deep level energy work where you're going inside of yourself and you're really exploring there, then you don't actually have to know all that much about what the really components of that work are, right? You just do that in session. So learning that is always a great, great energy tool. I always recommend shadow work as a stop along the way of the energy tools
Yeah.
to learn.
No, absolutely. And the writing thing is absolutely brilliant. That really helps you uncover because what happens when you start writing the things that you're consciously aware of, your subconscious kicks in and brings up stuff through it. If writing isn't your jam, use your voice recorder. I've
Yeah,
had
that's
countless people say to me, "Oh, I just really hate writing, or I get stuck in my head because I can't this, that, and the other thing." If you're bi, tri, quadruple lingual, it doesn't matter if it's in one language. It can be in every language in gobbledygook. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. And
right.
it can be, yeah.
We have a comment that came in from Azra 1999. It says, "What is this? Shadow work is an exploration of your own inner world." So that when we're looking at our external world and we're navigating our life, we can actually improve our own efficiency and make life a lot more comfortable to live in and a lot easier to navigate. I always say one of the best um, one of the best end results of doing shadow work is that a person ends up with a lot more grace for others and for themselves, and they become more mature in general. It's a lot safer to engage with people who do their own shadow work, because they become less of a liability and they become a little bit kinder and gentler to others.
Well, I always say too, is like heal so you don't bleed on those that didn't cut you. So it's doing that self work and showing up for yourself first and foremost. Your trauma was not your fault. Your
Yes, that's right.
healing, you are accountable and responsible for your healing. That's you. You absolutely deserve. You are enough. You're worthy. You're deserving. Where's, how is, as is. But you need to show up to that for yourself. So being
Absolutely.
able to bring that forward and show up for yourself in that way and do that level of healing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really kind. It's kind to ourselves when we do explore ourselves a bit more. And it can be very, very easy to blame other people, right? In this world, it's just natural. This is the way we perceive life naturally, is that if something happens, we register fault, right? And when you start doing shadow work, you begin to see a larger picture. So you become a more well developed human, and it becomes easier for you emotionally to live through the different experience that life is going to present. Life's not going to stop lifing. But if we develop tools inside of ourselves, we can definitely get to a point where it's not bombarding us and that we feel like we're underneath the wheels instead of riding in the vehicle on top of the wheels.
Exactly, and it's not about a blame game of anybody else outside of yourself or blaming yourself. It's about taking radical accountability for what is in your realm, for what is in your energy, and moving forward in the best way that you can, doing the work in the best way that you can, showing up in the best way that you can. We can't do this for anybody else. Like, we need to be really ready and able to show up for ourselves in that way. And the
Yes.
more that we give ourselves that place and space in order to show up to that, the more we teach through example of those around us. So those of us that are parents, those of us that are teachers in any which format, mentors in any which format, it's like so many people are like, do what they say, not what they do. It's like bull fucking shit. Being
Yeah.
able to meet yourself there, because no matter what's going on in your life, when people are like, oh my God, why do I always meet the same type of person? Why does this always happen? Why does that always happen? Who's the common denominator? What is the common denominator in this? This is not about blaming yourself. This is about going in. What is it that I need to heal, recognize, realize, release, and refocus in order to shift this out?
Yep.
I can't work on what I'm not aware of. So
That's
as
right.
soon as I have the realization, like, hey, this is showing up for me, not to me, or not at me. It's like, this is showing up for me. What the
Yeah.
fuck does it mean? And showing up to it and moving with it instead of going, "Ah," and letting it take you over. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
here it is. How do I move through it?
Sorry about that. I think a lot of people also default to blaming ourselves for not being able to handle things a little bit better. Also, want to say hi to Paige. Thank you so much for your comment. It was very much appreciated. And I do see, especially a lot of younger people, the Gen Z generation is. I feel like they're having a bit of a go of it, in this world. Life is definitely lifing for them. And I see a lot of blame, which can happen when you're online and self diagnosing, which is super helpful because when people connect to one another and they see what they're going through, they see their own inner patterns and processes. It's really great to connect with other people, but there can be a
I don't know if it feels good. Oh,
sort of like a muscle. I don't know if I just glitched there. Oh my goodness, it feels like it started over. I don't know what happened to our tech. Um, but it started the timer over. Anyways, so what I was saying just then, if it wasn't captured, was that I think a lot of people, especially a lot of younger people, go online, they self-diagnose, and that's really great because they can find others who have these expressions and the ways that they go about doing things or the things that they can't seem to handle all that well. But whenever we do, in fact, do that, I think sometimes we identify a little too much with it. And then we start saying, I'm not good at this, or this is hard for me, instead of immediately looking for tools that can support us on the journey of, really fortifying our way through life. Because the stronger you get in your inner world, the easier it's going to be to navigate life. And when those really hard experiences come up, blasting, it's just it's really all about how you're gonna be impacted, right? And for Amanda and I as healers, and we like support triage people in this world, it is very, very important to us that people, have the best ability to handle situations and not get quite as blasted by
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather.
Sorry, Heather.
It
It
froze and then I can
froze, and
in
then
and
I
out
can in
hear
and out
you,
hear
and now I'm
you, and now
echoing
I'm
really
echoing
hard.
really
So
hard. So
if anybody's
if
watching, let
anybody's
us know
watching,
how
let
it
us
is for
know
you
how it is
guys.
for you guys.
Yeah, we're supposed to be. So what? Mercury went direct. What? Over a week ago. We should almost be out of the shadow phase yet, but the tech is still teching.
Tech is
Tech is
tantruming. Like I can
tantruming. Like I
barely
can
hear you.
barely
You
hear you.
sound
You sound
so it goes to
so it
next to
goes to
nothing to
next to
whisper.
nothing to whisper.
What a bummer.
Tech
Tech
tantrums.
tantrums.
I know. So, well, I can hear you completely well. So maybe our listeners can hear you completely well too. Would you like to resume from here?
I'm trying to think if
I'm
there's
trying to think
more
if
to
there's
say to
anything more
that.
to
I'm
say to
just
that.
so
I'm just
focused
so
on the
focused
fact
on the
that
fact that
there's a really hard
there's a
echo
really
on my
hard
side
echo on my
too.
side too.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Let's see. There was
Let's
something I
see.
was going to
There's
say and I
something I was
got
going to say and I
distracted.
got distracted.
I lost it.
I
The
lost
text,
it.
the text got
The
me.
text got me.
But that'll add
But that'll
into
add
the whole
into the whole
letting yourself
letting yourself
wield that hot
wield that
mess
hot
magic.
mess magic.
It doesn't
It
have to
doesn't
look like
have to
any
look
one
like
thing.
any one thing.
And then when you
And then
feel
when you
things
feel
coming
things
back
coming
around, you're
back
like, oh, I
around, you're
did
like, oh,
the
I
shadow
did
work
the shadow
around
work around
XYZ.
X,
Why
Y,
is it
Z. Why is
happening
it
again?
happening again?
Because as
Because
we
as
do the
we
work and
do the
as
work
we
and as
raise
we
our
raise
personal
our
vibration
personal
and
vibration and
frequency,
frequency,
things come
things
back
come
from a
back
different
from a
angle.
different angle.
Yeah.
So we're able
So
to
we're
approach it
able
from
to
a
approach
different
from a
angle. We're
different
able
angle.
to
We're
hold
able to hold
space in a
space
different
in a
way
different way
and heal it
and
from
heal it
those
from
vibrational
those vibrational
frequencies.
frequencies.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
And
and I
there's
think the biggest part of shadow work is really getting to know the parts of you that society didn't approve of or that society made wrong in some way. So, judgment is a big piece of why our shadow got created in the first place. So, if you're going to do shadow work, I highly recommend coming from a place where you're not judging yourself, but you're also not judging others as harshly, and you go more into an observational space so that you can just observe what exactly is happening, what's going on. And if you can add one more layer and come from a place of, I'm going to be okay, and the world is going to be okay, it will calm your safety pieces. Because a lot of the things that upset us make us think that it's interfering with us being safe. So we get inflamed and we're like, oh my God. And then we have these overreactions that are usually not at the level of the particular situation to begin
absolutely. And that is
Absolutely. And
an
that is an
integral piece
integral
of being
piece of being
teaming on
teaming
the nervous
on the
system
nervous system
integration and the nervous
integration and the
system
nervous
finding
system
that place
finding
of
that place
safety
of
within
safety
yourself.
within
When you're
yourself. When
feeling
you're
yourself
feeling
like
yourself like
anxiety moving
anxiety
in and
moving
all these
in and all
feelings
these
and sitting
feelings
with
and
that
sitting with
and
that
moving it through
and
your
moving it
body.
through your body.
You can move it
You
through
can move
something
it through
simple,
something simple,
shaking. So you think
shaking.
of
If
like
you think of
nature.
like nature,
When something
when
happens
something
to an
happens to
animal,
an
they shake it
animal,
off.
they shake it off.
They let it go.
They let it go.
Let it be
Let
weird,
it be
shake it
weird.
out,
Shake it out.
drop back into
Drop
your
back
breath.
into your breath.
When we're
When we're
feeling nervous
feeling
with
nervous
something,
with
when we're
something,
feeling
when we're
like
feeling like
overstimulated or
overstimulated or
overwhelmed, our breathing
overwhelmed, our
gets
breathing
shallow.
gets shallow.
Breathing deep
Breathing
into your
deep into
being
your
and
being
body.
and
I like to
body. I
team
like
on
to
with
team
it,
on with it,
breathing in high
breathing in
vibrational,
high
high
vibrational,
frequency
high
energy
frequency
from love
energy
above
from
and
love
love
above and
below,
love
bringing it through
below,
the
bringing it through
entirety
the
of my
entirety of
being,
my being,
breaking up the
breaking up the
bullshit and
bullshit and
releasing it with each
releasing
and
it
every
with
breath,
each and every breath.
but
But
feeling back
feeling
into your
back into your
body.
body.
You can literally
You can
feel
literally
yourself
feel
coming
yourself
back into
coming back
yourself
into
with
yourself
each and
with
every
each and
breath.
every breath.
Anywhere where there's
Anywhere where
resistance,
there's
feeling
resistance,
into
feeling
that,
into
showing
that,
into that,
showing into
and
that,
keep on
and keep
going
on
until you
going
feel
until
back
you
into
feel
your
back
calmness.
into your
Because when we're
calmness.
dealing
Because
with
when
these
we're
hard
dealing with these
things
hard
and
things
different stuff
and
coming up
different
with
stuff
it, it's
coming up
easy
with
to
it, it's easy
almost
to
feel like
almost feel
our
like
soul leaves our
our
body,
soul
which
leaves our
doesn't
body,
happen.
which doesn't happen.
But we'll feel that
But
way,
we'll
like we're
feel
running on
that way, like we're
autopilot.
running
And
on
what's
autopilot.
happening?
And
And
what's
it's like,
happening?
okay,
And it's like,
bringing
okay,
myself
bringing
back into
myself
my
back
beingness
into
and
my beingness
creating
and
that
creating
safety.
that safety.
that safety that may not have ever been there before in these situations, but allowing ourselves to create that for ourselves within that.
Absolutely. We're not trained from when we're young to really be in a state of peace. We're really in a state of activity, and that peace is something that I feel our whole society is craving, and we just have these adrenaline rush situations on the regular. And sometimes, especially with the younger ones, their systems can be tuned to trying to find that next adrenaline rush that they don't take that time to really go into a state of peace all that much.
Absolutely. So I read in the comments, Steve says, "Something tells me the girl on the right frowns a lot, not just the hunch." Your hunch is completely wrong. I'm actually always smiles. I'm actually a hearing impaired person trying to deal with some severe tech tantrums, and I can't hear Heather. It's really hard. That's why my face is creepily right up here because I have hearing in one ear and I can't hear. It's echoing in my side right now is echoing, and it's a struggle fest. So my face and my seriousness is because I'm trying to show up for that. I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to deal with the tech tantrums. So yeah, I don't flatter. I'm just having a human moment of this is what's happening, and I need to show up to it.
Absolutely. I mean, tech issues can get our adrenaline rushing. You just like take a pause, come into
Yeah,
come into
it's testing my patience right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering where the first half of our video went. I'm like, did it get lost in the ethers? That's what I'm pondering right now. Maybe the whole thing will be there when we exit. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, certainly too, like what I said at the beginning, our shadow is everything that's unconscious for us. Certain things like tech can really imitate what's going on in our system that we don't know about exactly. And it's very sensitive. Tech is very sensitive to our energy. So we own the fact that who knows, this tech issue could be our own hand. It could be.
It is what it is. It's like being able to show up to everything in the moment for the moment,
Yes.
whatever it is, doing the best in the moment. It's like embracing that perfectly imperfect, messy masterpiece of being.
Yeah.
Even when you're hearing impaired and neurodivergent and the echoes driving you crazy, you can't hear.
Totally.
No excuses, only opportunities.
Absolutely. Yes. Looking for what's available. Yeah. Instead of getting stuck in a frame of thinking, in a unpleasant mindset. Looking at the sunny side up part of it because there's always an opportunity in everything.
There is. One of my favorite quotes is by Wayne Dyer. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change.
Yes.
And it's so true. It's like if something is crunchy, how do I shift myself around it to perceive it differently? Do I need to completely and fully pull myself back for a second? I call it helicopter mode. If this rock is right up here in my camera, you can't see anything. If I pull it back, you can now see it. Pull yourself back from whatever it is that's driving you crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And when it's tech, just endure it.
Yeah.
Do your best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Amanda and I hang out in my Facebook group called Modern Consciousness, where I'm going to be having a lot of guest speakers. So if anything on this video interested you, feel free to come and join that Facebook group and ask any questions that you want as far as spiritual development, inner work, or any cool little tools, energy tools that you want to learn. I'm going to be having so many guest speakers in there teaching about things like astrology and tarot and mediumship and psychic work and even a tea leaf reader I just booked.
Ooh.
So this next month is going to be very, very interesting in Modern Conscious. It's definitely free to join. And when you do, I have a free offer for the absolute most potent energy tool that I have ever come across ever, which is a tool to defrost your energy body so that when your triggers start happening and you start doing that inner work, you don't have to plow through a bunch of frozen energy in there too. So getting that energy body defrosted, you may not understand what that means just yet, but it's a really good thing to do. And that is
Mhm.
available for free as a download as well. So, is there anything more that you wanted to say, Amanda?
No, just that in
No,
the
just
group
that in
too,
the
it's a
group too,
safe
it's a
space to
safe
show up
space
and
to
ask
show
your
up and ask your
questions. It's a
questions. It's a
judgment-free,
judgment-free,
bullshit-free zone.
bullshit-free zone.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I am really big on teaching, training, and helping people when they're at a challenging spot or a stuck spot. So, having a community that you can go to when you're experiencing something challenging is always helpful to have in advance rather than to try to find a community when you're in a state of need already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I am super grateful for our conversation again. I know if the tech were going easier, we could have gone a little bit longer, but we're gonna wrap this up today, and we'll be back next Friday with another cool topic. And
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
wishing everyone a beautiful spring.
If you
And
guys are watching
If you
this
guys
on
are
the
watching this on
replay,
the replay,
drop some
drop some
comments, some
comments, no
questions. If you have
questions. If
something
you
that
have
you want
something
us to
that you
talk
want us to
on
talk on
at a later
at a
date,
later
please let
date,
us
please
know.
let us know.
We would love that.
We would love that.